Welcome back to I Bought Toys Today, the show where two old friends enjoy the best part of the toy collecting hobby, telling each other what we bought. Once again, I'm John,
I'm Cohan.
and I've got good news, Cohan.
And I hope it's that you bought toys.
Close. 'Tis the holiday season. And you know the best part about collecting toys as a hobby, Cohan?
I would say making other people collect toys as a hobby.
Well, that would be wrong and silly. The best part is that you can have Christmas morning whenever you want.
Fair.
Because what is this show other than, Christmas morning review, basically?
Yeah, it kind of really is, isn't it?
So put on your footy pajamas because it's another episode, and we've got plenty of presents.
Well, where do you want to start?
I'm actually really excited for this episode, Cohan, because I'll admit, well, I don't know if confession is the right term, but I feel like I was slacking the last couple of episodes, and you were bringing a lot more to the table than I was. And I don't want to speak for you because I genuinely don't know what all you have in today's episode, but I brought some heat,
I think I did
and
too.
I hope you put on your tank top and your board shorts because I got the heat.
Oh, we want to smoke.
It's
We want to smoke.
you've heard of Christmas in July. This is summer in December. Because I'm finally back on my game, and I found a lot of good stuff. As we're recording this, it is early December, so Black Friday shopping has occurred, um, and there's I got good stuff. Well, first off, we got a couple of figures that showed up like right after we finished our last episode, um, and they're things that I'm very excited. This is why we filmed this episode instead of just jumping into like our year in review top figures of the year episode, because got a lot of good stuff around Black Friday, but also got these two big boys. So I'm gonna start with Metalhead
Oh, I
in
hate
all
that
his
guy.
missile firing glory. This guy has been on some really good sales recently, and for like a fairly deluxe figure, got him for a real good price. And I spent some time yesterday figuring out how to put them together, um, and how to get everything to sort of stay on there. And boy, does he have a lot going on. I absolutely love. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to get it on camera. He's got his golden. I don't know if it's going to focus on it, but you can see the light catching it. His golden Destro logo on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Um, Weird thing about the missiles, as cool as they are, the back of his backpack comes with these tubey wire things, that are supposed to, I assume, run from the backpack to his like thigh mounted ones,
Uh-huh.
but there's nothing for them to plug into on those. So I've just been sort of setting them inside the back of the rocket launchers, because like there's an obvious like place for them to hook into on his backpack, but then they just sort of rest in the little ones,
He
which is
is
fine.
he is one of my least favorite characters,
How
particularly
so?
from the D cartoon. I just hated him. I have no desire to get him. Like again, if I find him for like $10, maybe, but nope.
Oh yeah, like I got him for less than the cost of like a regular figure, um, and I just love that he comes with so much going on. Like he's got a cool helmet, and you know how much I love a cool helmet. Like, look at this thing. But I also like a visor. So far, I've
Shocking.
been going with his tactical targeting visor. The cool thing is, like, that's just not an accessory. Like his entire hairpiece like comes off. He's got another set of hair without the visor, and then the helmet as well. So he's got, which I'm not going to take the time to actually put on. But very cool. We've been talking recently about me starting to collect Iron Grenadiers as sort of my Cobra subset, and we could debate whether or not he's a member. He's got Destro on his shoulder, so you tell me. His box says Iron Grenadier on it. So when I especially saw him at such a good sale price, um, it was time to get Metalhead. Got one more before I switch it back up to you, Cohan. Um, and this one I think you're going to have something to say about. Because if you think Metalhead has a lot going on, I got
That's
the
good.
Nemesis.
Yeah. I
Go on.
haven't yet, but he'll be coming my way.
You get a Serpentor, now you're just running right through the rest of Cobra. This is a ridiculous figure. Like, if I held these up and you had no idea about GI Joe or like the characters within or anything, and I told you that these were from the same action figure line and the same universe, the same team, kind of technically, I don't know if I would believe you. Because Nemesis Immortal looks like it's from a completely different toy line. Like he is a beefy boy. Um, Mine, the joints are very stiff. Like I still haven't gotten one of his knees to bend at all. So getting him to stand has been interesting, especially because he's got real weird feet. Look at these toesies. I have him with his weird snake backpack at the moment, which these are wired, so like you can bend them. That's pretty fun. But his wings are pretty crazy. The fact that he comes with like a whole set of giant bat wings. Um, I had these on for a while, tried them both. I don't know how I would put him on the shelf with these things. So I think we're going to stick with the snake backpack. And I like this head better than his more armored up head because I think this is more sort of screen accurate.
Yeah.
Um, Although this does look cool when paired with the wings. So he's a great figure. He's so weird. Does not look like a GI Joe character whatsoever.
No.
Um,
But if they're going to
but
continue with the trend of the movie in Cobra La, they got to do a Pythona. GI Joe purists have been craving a Pythona, and I think they did her for an exclusive for one of the collectors clubs, whatever. But they got to do it. They got to do a Pythona. She'd be a great figure, I think.
I don't know how they would do. Well, I mean, they could certainly do a globulus, but he'll be ridiculous. Um,
Oh yeah, he'd be one of those Haslabs like Mindbender or Serpentor. And Mindbender should never have been a Haslab. What a waste.
but he's a great looking figure, and I love when GI Joe dips a foot into just weird sci-fi character or weird sci-fi genre. Like they're just a great military based show and line, but when they get a little weird, they're really good at it. And it just works really well with GI Joe for some reason.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know how I'm going to find him a spot on the shelf near Serpentor, because I feel like he's got to go somewhere near Serpentor. But luckily, I have a bunch of snake themed bad guys anyway, so he'll fit in anywhere. Like
Yeah.
he kind of is just part King Hiss, part Shredder. You know, he'll make friends. But those were two figures that I've had sitting around for a while that I really wanted to talk about and show off to you because they're both real cool.
Well, one of those I will get and one I won't.
You say that now.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Well, we're going to dip into the world of the WWE after Survivor Series last weekend. I was walking around Sir Troy's. Remember Sir Troy's? I took you up. Yeah. I went to the other one about a month or so ago. Looking around, and I found this individual who was one of my all-time favorites. Different take, different color scheme. Not sure if he was a variant or not, but relatively inexpensive. So I said, "Heck it, let's go with it." Uh, we're gonna go Stone Cold with jean shorts and red
Oh,
red knee pads, little Austin 316 shirt, and the look at that classic belt.
that's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah, a little Stone Cold on the back. Not sure if he was a variant or if they came out with it. Didn't even bother to look it up. Didn't care. Just like the figure. So I
It's a
went
very
with.
colorful Stone Cold.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's not your classic all in black Steve Austin. Great stun you. Just I just liked it, and again, for the right price, I brought Stone Cold home. So yeah,
Yeah, I don't think they have to work too hard to convince you, to look at a Stone Cold figure.
I just they would never. Oh, I shouldn't say never, but man, he needs a beer can. He needs just a beer can, just to do the classic pose. These next four, I actually purchased on Friday. I went to Neotech, and the individual I bought them from was very price friendly. Trying to decide the order I want to show them in. So we'll start finally. And even though I had a figure of her, it's not a very good figure. This one I liked. I actually put this head on versus the other head she came with because it looks more like her. The current version, or what people know her as. The other one looked like I think maybe a younger version of her. But I went with one of the greats. How about Lita? It's a good Lita figure with the
Uh, we're
chains and
we're
jeans.
recording this the weekend of GalaxyCon here in Columbus, where both Lita and Trish Stratus are appearing.
Oh, very good. Yeah, but what a great figure this is. I really liked
It's
her
pretty
look,
good.
and again for the right price. Like I said, all these next four I'm going to show you, I got them for all the same price, and it was under $20 a figure. So I mean, I'll take it. But she looks really good. I really like her. So I compare her with my Trish, my wrestling table, which you've seen. So, there was
The
a slip
chains
up.
are a very good detail.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're a little flexible. Sorry,
Oh,
but
nice.
just a nice looking figure. Very simple, and sometimes that's always what I like. Is just sometimes simplicity is easiest. So let's go with I have the Road Dog. I've got badass Billy. I'm sorry, wait, Billy Gunn. Shawn Michaels Triple H. Well,
Dude,
how about
I saw. I know I'm cutting you off right in your intro, but since you brought it up, I saw that Billy Gunn figure for sale recently, and it was like almost $70.
yeah, he's expensive, but
Anyway, sorry.
don't treat me like a woman. Don't treat me like a man. Don't treat me like you know me. Treat me for who I am. Oh, and it's DX China.
That
Um,
can't possibly be the actual lyrics to her song.
oh, look it up, sir.
Wow.
Look it up. But yeah, I didn't realize they made her. So I was like, heck with it. Yeah, that'll help complete the DX collection. Road
Great.
Dogg, Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws, Triple H, China,
China was
and
great.
HBK. You know, again, not the I don't think the best mold on her face, um,
It's
but
pretty
but she
good.
still is a pretty good figure. Nice leather vest, just
Mm-hmm.
very basic China, but kind of like how she was when she came. And I know she had her personal demons, but she did some great stuff in the ring. And now I hang my head in utter shame, because there's only one person I need to complete DX. X Pac.
Yeah.
I had to. And once I saw China, I was like, X Pac was right there, and I'm sure the guy's a very nice guy. I mean, he was good in the ring, but there was something I just never liked X Pac. When I'm like, he's the last piece I need to complete Degeneration X, so you might as well just do it. And again, for the right price, so I scooped him up.
It's also a good figure.
It is.
Like
It's a good
it's a
figure.
good X Pac.
His
X
sunglasses
Pac
over
is
here,
is fantastic.
great
Like
soft goods. He's got his got double soft goods the shirt is leathery but moldy or molding. Soft pants. He really is. He's a good figure. I was just never a
hmm
big X Pac fan.
X Pac was great. Like he could do great work with the cruiserweights. He and Kane are one of my favorite tag teams, like from that whole era. Uh, I I like a big one with a small one.
Too easy.
Yeah,
Now for my last figure, um, I I went with who's my all-time favorite. Come on, don't be a jerk.
Tito.
Who's his greatest rival?
Ennui? I don't know. Ric Flair.
Greg the Hammer Valentine. They
How under
battled
that
for that
pick.
IC belt, that classic cage match after he broke Tito's leg, and Tito comes back to win it in his soft goods robe, and just the hammer. Throw that hammer down. Yeah, Greg Valentine, the hammer. He's even the later version when he started wearing that shin guard to hurt, like when he applied the figure four to, particularly when he and rugged Ronnie Garvin were having a feud. But just a very basic figure, and seeing now interviews with him and Tito together, and like the friendship they had and how good they were in the ring together, and like when they were called on to do, like, as they call them, Broadways or 1 hour matches, like nights in a row, because they could go out there and just work each other and just have a good time and see what kind of friends they really are. He's a good looking. I mean, I apologize. He's not a handsome man, but man, just a good version of Greg Valentine. The hammer.
I like you call it a basic figure. That's one of the most elaborate robes I've ever seen on a figure.
Oh, it's good. It's so
It's
good.
it's one of the busiest piece of soft goods I've ever seen.
And I lied about him being my last wrestling figure. There is one more,
Oh,
because these I unboxed all of these. This one I don't think I'm unboxing. It's one I've been searching for, and then again for the right price, I saw it, and I was like, heck yeah! It's Rowdy Roddy Piper. They live.
excellent.
Isn't that great? His blue jeans, his sunglasses, that flannel shirt, all that good stuff with Piper. There's the back of the card.
That's a good one to keep in the box.
Yeah, and again, under $20, and I thought it would be more, but maybe, who knows? But this, I have that spot on the wall with my legends, who I'm not unboxing. He's going to go up there, and I have that T-shirt though. I've had it for years. My sister got it for me for Christmas one year. It says, "I came here to kick ass and chew bubble gum," on the front and on the back. I'm all out of bubble gum. So, but what a great guy! That's a good figure. That's a nice little wrestling haul. So,
It's a good wrestling hall. The
yeah,
best part of it was probably X Pac.
no, Not even close. So they're my wrestlers. Back to you.
Well, I didn't got a little busy on Black Friday shopping because there was deals. Um, but weirdly enough, I didn't sort of discover until they arrived that I had shopped with a certain theme. See if you can pick up what it was. First off, talking about deals, these two figures were on such a deep discount that I felt like I would be silly if I didn't order them. That's how I ended up having twins. These were
Look at you diving into. Oh no, this is a dark hole, sir.
well, we'd been talking about Iron Grenadiers and the Crimson Guard set with these two and Baroness was on like clearance on Hasbro Pulse recently, and I've been thinking about getting that, but then these were on Amazon for $11 a piece.
And the funny
Like
thing is,
I don't know if I could find them loose for that much.
the funny thing, I know at least on Big Bad Toy Store and a couple of other spots, it's funny. Tomax is usually on sale and Zaymot's not.
The other good thing is the boxes that came in are kind of garbage. Um, like they're all sorts of sort of dinged up, and I mean they're old figures. These are not a recent addition to the line. Yeah, old in that they're more than a year. I mean this is number 45. Nemesis Immortal, whose box I'm using as a base for my laptop, is number 140. So there's been a few figures between these guys. Um, so I got them both. They'll I haven't opened them yet because I don't know where the heck I would put them. Um, so once I do, I'll pop them out because the boxes aren't worth displaying anyway. Um, but they look pretty good.
Well, I showed you. I went through an unboxing frenzy. What, last weekend, maybe 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
and the twins, Flint and Lady J, Big Boa, Quick Kick. I mean, guys who I've had in boxes for a while. I went the heck with it, and there's now a gigantic GI Joe battle going on my dining room table.
Um, this next one I actually found in store because I had to do a little bit of driving on Black Friday to pick up some other things that I bought, which ended up being really lucky because I finally found one of these, and it's the Cobra Eel.
Yep.
Um, a figure that I had growing up, although any accessory that remotely tied him to scuba diving long disappeared um, when playing with him growing up. So he was basically just a ninja.
Well, all right.
Because, like, you know, that wetsuit is basically a ninja infiltration outfit.
Sure.
Um, this is a good game of should we open it?
Open it.
Because it's real pretty.
Open it.
These retro cards are just great.
They are.
I will say, to maybe sway the argument, there is a big groove on the back here. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if it comes through on camera, um, but there's a good crease on this side. Um, yeah, you kind of see it's not the world's greatest card.
Yeah.
So maybe we just go ahead and open it.
I have opened the last, save for the ones that came with the Hiss tank. I have opened the last several classified figures I've purchased on retro cards.
Yeah, I mean, he's just the color combination is obviously fantastic. Like very stealthily themed, which I'm always a fan of. Cobra Eel is just a wonderfully designed figure. Like big fan. I got one more,
Oh,
and this is exciting news because a it is a type of figure that I have never purchased before. So I'm bringing something brand new to at least my side of the show, Cohan. I bought an actual GI Joe.
Yo, Joe.
Um, Realized sometime recently that all the classified figures that I have are all Cobra. I've never once bought a classified GI Joe until now. I got Jinx.
She's a good pickup.
Um, I had a Jinx growing up in the original line. Um, I don't really care one way or another that this one doesn't have sleeves. It's fine. I know that is an issue for some Jinx fans. I think it's very good that she has the like red ninja head. Um, I really want to try the red ninja head out with the blindfold and see if it works over that one too. Because they always just show it with her
Yeah.
regular head. Um, but the like that red mask just looks so good. Um, with her, I don't know what the technical term is for her specific type of staff,
Oh, I
but
can't remember
I
what that's called
love
either.
that I love that they carried that over from the original figure. Because she was probably like the ninja that got the most work. Because I don't think I had
Uh,
uh
oh,
like I don't think I had
you mean
a
playing?
snake
I thought you
eyes.
meant like in the
Yeah,
comic. Like, let's
no,
let's slow your roll.
no in my battles, and I guarantee she probably fought a lot of battles against Cobra's elite ninja, the eel. So until a couple of those ninja forces came out, and I got like, uh, slice and dice and the names? What's the yellow one we always talk about?
Shebang, Yellow
Yeah,
Hero, Nunchuck.
and her and Budo teamed up a lot.
Yeah,
They were my prime martial arts force.
yeah,
Um,
but when the eel came out versus when Jinx came out, you've got some years there.
yeah, but none of those are years where I am like the person probably buying the actual figures. So I certainly didn't buy an eel. I mean, I might have gotten Jinx with like my allowance money by the time she came out. But eel has just been there as long as I could remember, which is why I don't remember him ever having actual scuba gear. So I spent my Black Friday buying GI Joe figures.
That's not a bad Black Friday.
No, especially not at the discounts that even she was on for being a relatively recent figure.
Yeah.
Um, so it's between that and Metalhead and Nemesis. Classified collection got a good boost this last month.
That's good and dangerous.
That is swear as all the GI Joes that I'm bringing today.
Well, let's just stay right where you are.
Oh, good.
And probably one of the instrumental characters who may have helped train Jinx. How about Storm Shadow?
There he is.
My favorite version of Storm Shadow. That classic one is great. Don't get me wrong. I loved it, and maybe it's because this is when he switched to GI Joe, and he was on the Joe team. But he's got the Rashikage tattoo, the two swords. He's got two claws. One fell off. His bow fell off his back. but just a great looking Storm Shadow. This is my favorite version of Storm Shadow, and yeah, tight joints as well. Like his knees not bending, and I don't like forcing them too much. But I had to remove him from his battle. He was in the midst of a battle with Zartan on my table, and I had to move him to bring him to show you this guy. But yeah, so Storm Shadow again, just another good looking figure. He came with the knife edge hand to do chops or whatever. And talk about carded classifies, retro carded. As I showed when I bought the His Tank, I got Cobra Commander, or the Mickey Mouse version. He's staying pristine. So I just went and got the other one.
Nice.
And I can't remember if I showed him last time or not, but so he's on the battlefield. And look at him, just leading. He and Serpentor are right next to each other. Hawk's taking on Serpentor. Duke's taking on Cobra Commander. You go. There you go. That's what you got. It's great. So there's a Cobra Commander, just a good version. I love that shiny helmet.
It's very shiny.
It's very shiny. The classic backpack where he can put his gun. It came with a knife. It's just kind of coming out, but that's all right. Oh, sorry about that. Fell off his stand. Why the hell don't their stands fit? They're made for them. And another classic card, retro card, I took off. I got him Friday as well because I didn't have him yet. And the version he came out originally classified is fine, but I want the classic version. How about some Beachhead? Wayne Sneeden. There you go. He came with a couple of knives, gun and a silencer, his classic machine gun, his bandolier, his backpack. He came with his backpack. He came with a crossbow as well, which I don't ever remember him having, and I was looking for a space to attach it. I mean, it's just a repaint of Scarlet's crossbow at it, but there's no arrows or anything like she comes with. But yeah, just classic Beachhead. That's the Beachhead I know. Again, not that the other one they came out with for Cobra Island is bad by any means, but this is Beachhead. This is Beachhead.
So. I'm still shocked to have only recently learned like how high ranking Beachhead is in the organization.
What do you mean? Recently,
I didn't have a Beachhead figure. Like I don't know anything about Beachhead. Like if you were like, hey, name like the top 5 ranking guys, like I wouldn't get to Beachhead.
Yeah, he's kind of a grab.
It'd be like Hawk, Duke, Flint.
And his Beachhead, in theory, Beachhead is 4th.
I'd be like, I don't know, Doc. Like, is Doc high ranking? Kind of like how Dr. Crusher could outrank the captain on Next Generation sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah,
it would all be made up after Flint.
And I guess we'll just go this route. This is not classified. Scoop this up again Friday. Didn't know these existed. I gotta find the name of it. It's a 2-pack. G.I. Joe 50th Anniversary, Real American Hero. God, 50 years. I've been alive that long. And got a 2-pack. But because, it had gung ho.
Very good. Who is that with gung ho?
The pack is called Marine Devastation. Cobra Shadow Guard.
Sure.
Uh-huh. Didn't care. They had other 2-packs there of other guys, but,
Yeah.
Him. I want him.
Look at that teal vest.
Look at that mustache, man.
Yeah.
That is gung-ho all the way. This guy's actually pretty cool looking, too.
He is very cool. Like, I don't want to trample all over you talking about gung-ho, but he's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, look at all the stuff he comes with, too.
Yeah. I mean, he's just a Black Crimson Guard, but like, that's not a bad thing.
No. He's almost, he really kind of is. Almost a mix between Crimson Guard and Iron Grenadier. Sorry. Like that's all his stuff. That's gung-ho stuff. Oh, I can't see. Here it is. But because gung-ho has muscles.
Weekend after Thanksgiving, there was a toy show down the street from me. One of our local stores is starting to get into the world of putting on events. So they had one at an empty store at the nearby mall. So I could not check it out, especially if it was that close. Um, so I popped on down, and I remember on the way, I texted you and I was like, I'm going to check out the show. I don't know what they'll have. Maybe, it's their first time, you know, maybe they'll have nothing. Got there, went to the second table after I walked in the door and had to text you again. I went, oh no, it's a good show. Never mind. Because as I scanned over this table, which had all sorts of good old stuff, just sitting there all by itself was Skeleton Warriors. Um, one of the ones that I didn't have either, which is exactly the type of Skeleton Warrior figure I'm looking for. So I had to absolutely pick up uh, Oracula here. It's like Dracula but spiders. And as always,
I'm so
it's
happy you love this line.
it's such a ridiculous line. I don't know if I can hold it up in a place that it won't just be covered in glare. But like, just like the last time we talked about Skeleton Warriors, there's so much going on with this figure. Not only the fact that he has 6 arms, but like he's got the shiny gold, he's got non-shiny metal. They've got the golden beady eyes. He's got a pile of accessories on top of that. Like they've got. I don't think he has actual soft goods, but he's got like leather textured or like you know leathery plastic in there. So there's so many different textures and finishes, and like there's just so much going on with this stupid figure that it's wild. Um, not just like having to fix 6 arms to his back, but like each of them has a shiny gold bracer. Like he's got his chest armor and loincloth. Like they're so weird and so cool. Um, and I'm down to only missing 2 of them, which is great.
That's good,
Al-
man.
Along with the vehicles, um, but making progress. And if you want to be a good toy show, just have Skeleton Warriors. That's apparently all it needs. Luckily, that wasn't the only thing they had. They advertised this show as being very enthusiastic about selling things. In that, like, the vendors were supposed to have things marked to actually be sold. Um, so this one guy had a whole bunch of Voltron figures, like a whole bunch of the cats from the new TV show, um, which were all very well priced already. Um, and there was a sign next to them that was Voltron figures half off marked price. And I was looking at him, and the guy's like, "If you want the whole set, I'll give you a deal on them." Luckily, I already had them. Like I'm pretty sure it was those ones that you can't see, but they're already assembled as a Voltron and up on the shelf. I've had it for years. I didn't have this one though, and it's just a little Voltron, just a little Voltron. He shoots the lion head out like a missile. Excellent.
What more do you need? Can you hold that up to the camera a little closer?
I sure can.
That's cool.
See if I can get it to focus at all. But it's just a little Voltron. This is line attack Voltron. There's also a sword attack Voltron.
Oh.
He comes with a sword. I don't think this one does. Um, but
Is it a
I
blazing sword?
no, just regular. The back is great because it's like, here's Voltron with a sword. Here's Voltron that shoots the lions like missiles. Here's all the lions. And then here's Mizak. Everyone's favorite character.
Yeah.
Um, so it was just great, and it was marked for, I don't know if it's going to focus on that, but it was marked for $20, and it was half off of that. And I was like, yeah, I want $10 Voltron.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Take that all day. I'm pretty sure I'm going to bust this out of the packaging real soon. Because he'll fit real nicely up there with the other Voltron. And just have a couple of nice little Voltrons. Because the Voltron that's up there is assembled from like all these lions. So he's real stiff and awkward. So I always like it when they just make Voltron like as an individual figure so that he can function better.
Yeah.
And lastly, there was a table there after looking around because I'm like, somebody has to. There was a table there where a guy was selling a handful of Toy Biz X-Men figures, which it's no secret I like those. It's no secret they're kind of hard to find. People don't seem to bring them to shows very much. Um, and I only know like one store around here that has any sort of selection of them. And it's like a 40-minute drive because it's on the other side of the city. And he's sitting there, and right on the table is my boy Omega Red. And in the I bought toys today deep lore, I can't stop buying Omega Reds. Like they end up, and this is a figure that I remember from childhood as just thinking it's so cool. Um, like his proportions are great because he's one of the early, like he's fairly early in line, but he's like the, I think, not second, maybe third wave they put out when they started giving him sort of beefy proportions. Because those first couple lines they're real slender figures, but this one came out with um, like the second Apocalypse figure and like Bishop. Um, when they started making Cable real thick as well, so he's got real thick body too. But I love him because like look how small that head is, and especially when you put him next to other figures in this line, it's just so adorably like pea-sized that like I know they were compensating for the ponytail, so they're like, can't make it too big. The ponytail will go on for days. But he's got such a tiny, like it's the size of his hands. Look at those.
Like some other
Like
fat guy with a tiny head.
he could palm his own head like a softball. But I didn't have an Omega Red that's carded, um, so I was happy to pick him up. And because he had them all laid on the table, and I was talking to the guy, and believe it or not, um, I already had most of the figures that he had out on the table. The only ones that I didn't have were the real late in the line. They were like the ninja figures, which aren't good. So I was not in a rush to get those, but I wanted a Mega Red. So I was just going to get him. And he's like, then he starts telling me the story about how he got there and he didn't have like enough room. So he's got a bunch of figures still in boxes that like he couldn't put out because he had to lay them on the table and he couldn't have them hanging up like he'd planned. And I'm like, oh no, I have to see these boxes. He's like, you want to see the boxes? I was like, yeah, I want to see
What's
the
in
boxes.
the box?
So then he goes and gets the boxes, and I'm rooting through them. And there's stuff in there that I already have. He was like, look, I got a Phoenix. And I was like, got a Phoenix. Don't need a Phoenix. Um, he did pull out one that I've been looking for quite some time. In Crazy Prisoner Sabretooth. This is the Sabretooth version of when he is he's not really he's kind of a prisoner, hence the you know, handcuffs. This is when he's staying in the mansion basement and just driving everyone crazy right before Age of Apocalypse. Has that fantastic issue with Wolverine, where Wolverine finally, you know, pops a claw in him. And this is the version of Sabretooth that uh, finally escapes and then has all of the X-Men chase him down in one of the best single comics ever written. Um, so I'd been wanting to pick this up just as part of one of my favorite storylines. And as an example, look how big that head is compared to Omega Red's head. It's huge. And that wasn't even the best thing that he had in the boxes. And I don't know why he didn't put these out on the table, but I'm glad he didn't, because these are the best things that he had in the boxes. And it's Cable. Both Stealth Tech armor Cable and Arctic armor Cable. You know how Cable goes to the Arctic?
And needs to put that kind of armor on.
Yep. So sometimes Cable is basically just a G.I. Joe. Um, and these are both, I think these are I'll say they're two of the latest Cable figures in the Toy Business line. Um, they are two that I never actually saw, like, at a KB or anything growing up. I've only learned of their existence, once actually started toy hunting, and they are pretty hard to find because they come later in the line. And the best thing is this is just a repaint of Scuba Cable, which I think is Cable 4, maybe 5. I don't know. But I think the only thing more ridiculous than Arctic Armor Cable is Scuba Cable. So it works. And this one is just a repaint of, I believe, Cable 3. Yeah. You can see him on the back of Omega Red there, which it's not going to focus on.
Yeah.
But you can see his little missile launcher. Like, it's just a repaint of that, but stealthy because it's darker.
It's like the stealth catapult in Men in Tights.
Yeah, it's stealth armor Cable, which is why he has this giant headgear and mouthpiece so he can communicate effectively while stealthing. This is his stealth missile launcher. They're really quiet missiles. Bang. But I've said it before, like, filling out my Toy Biz Cable collection has always been a goal, and it's honestly one of my last remaining Toy Biz goals. And there's only a few of them that I really still need to find. One of them being Scuba Cable. I don't think I have a carded Scuba Cable. I still have my original, like, loose one that I played with. I think he's missing his swimming fins though, which is just a tragedy. Um, the Cable figures are so good, but their articulation is so bad. Like, at some point, they just stopped giving him bendable elbows, which I've never understood.
So
Like, they're
1982 G.I. Joe.
yes, these are all straight arm cables. But I really like the Cable figures because they stopped trying to give them, like, weird action, like, playabilities or anything. So they were just solid figures, but not if you liked elbows. But it's cool to have those two hard to find ones. I think I'm also missing Space Cable. Silly. So that great pieces to fill out the old Toy Biz collection. Um, Real winners all the way down.
Well, let's go big, literally. So I did a pre-order, or I don't know what the hell you call it, a funding, whatever the hell it is, crowdfunding. And last year, and I was supposed to get it over July, and then it got delayed and delayed, and finally in November, it came, and it came with 4 figures. We'll start with our Halo jumper, Ripcord, with his goggles and his parachute and his gun. He does have a helmet, and he does have another helmet with goggles. But the one I like the goggles on him, and the helmet, the other helmet, I couldn't get on to fit with it. But I usually have him hanging, kind of in this pose, coming down. He's hanging, and you all know what I'm talking about. But he's hanging thusly, like he's firing, as the battle's going on, and standing on the peg on the side. And this is a neat take, not a GI Joe that I was ever, no pun intended, crazy about. Oh, and he just dropped his gun. He got Crazy Legs, another paratrooper, who I think was made later on. He was supposed to either take the place of Ripcord and or Airborne, but he came with a helmet and goggles, whatever. But I really liked the cap and glasses, or goggles. I liked the cap. It was something different, so he got the cap. But the gun looks like his original gun, and another paratrooper. Just Crazy Legs, and you got
I liked Crazy Legs growing up. We had a Crazy Legs.
Yeah. This one I'm gonna have to detach because she's currently hanging on. There we go. And she's in this pose because she's hanging on the grappling hook, but it's Glenda. Just random GI Joe. I know people got really excited with her because they used her mold for the classic retro carded Scarlet, and it's a much better than the original Scarlet in classified. Removable helmet with these goggles, another set of hair you could put on her. But I really like that the helmet with the mouthpiece, and again the way again her parachute, and the way I have her hanging on, she's coming down the like the tow cable, and she's firing her gun down there, and it looks really cool. So I gotta back up because this is gonna take some space. Because it's on its base. But the G.I. Joe HasLab Dragonfly. How sweet is this? And I'm sorry you probably can't hear me too well, but we'll see if we can do this. Oh, hold on. We're gonna detach it. We're gonna pardon my butt.
That thing's stinking huge.
It's awesome, is what it is. I'm gonna see if
I saw Dan Larson posting pictures of his today.
Oh, did he?
With a comment that it's a real pain in the neck to take pictures of because it's so big.
Yeah, you probably can't see because of the glare, but Wild Bill is flying high. I really liked the missiles with the flames coming off like they're firing because I have it aiming at the HISS tank. The rotor, the tail fins also move. These also move.
Like the tail is as long as your arm.
And yeah, kind of. But let's see where we go. Let's see if we can do it. Can't. Oh, hold on. We're gonna do some special effects here. Give me a moment.
This is good video.
We got some light up going on. Hold on. I gotta find the button again. Oh, look. Ready? There. Ready? Wild Bill flying. The inside with the lights and the
I didn't know the
screens.
cockpit lit up.
Oh, it's so cool. I wish I could show you the inside of this thing because it just looks. I mean, even the joystick moves for them. The seatbelts, they're a pain to get in the seats, and they're a pain. to buckle. But then, you got your headlights or your landing lights, whatever you want to call them, and then you got a spotlight on the bottom. And this baby, it's phenomenal. It's utterly, dare I say, glorious. You turn the lights back on over here.
Like HasLabs aren't cheap, but boy, does it seem like you get what you pay for.
Oh my god! And as great as the Hiss tank is, I love this Dragonfly. I did not get the Sky Striker. I was not invested in that. Plus that alone, I'm sure. But the way I have it set up on the stand is you can have it either ascending or descending, and so I have it descending, and the Hiss tank, and it looks like they're battling each other. At least in my tiny pea brain. What a great toy! What a great toy that is. In the way I have it set up, like Glenda's hanging from the grappling cable, and it's funny because on the side are the canisters. I can't remember what those are called, and there are several different kind of stickers you could put on it. One's supposed to say chips, the other says salsa, right? Which is great. But I went with Butch and Sundance. So, and there are a couple other names, I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but I like Butch and Sundance. I think it fit more Wild Bill, being the cowboy that he is. And so, yeah, that finally came in, and the chore that I had to go through picking it up was ridiculous. We won't even get into that. But when I got it home and opened them all up, it was just exciting. And that's when I was going to do this whole thing up here on these shelves. When I may not have enough room up here, let's just go battle it out on the table. And that's when I set them up and guys going after. I mean, I have this whole dreadnought fight going on in one corner with Joe's, and like I said, Hawk and Duke going at it, and or Hawk and Serpentor and Duke and Cobra Commander, but then it was like, I need more. So out came Big Boa, Airborne, Quick Kick, the Twins, the Crimson Guard, the Alley Viper is unboxed. So yeah, there's a big battle going on my dining room table, and I apparently some have fallen. I don't know if it was due to battle or me shutting the door, but they'll have to be they'll have to be readjusted and fixed. But it's so stupid that I walk by that table and I'm just like, God, it reminds me of my childhood. Like just watching these Cobras and Joes fight it out, and I could sit there and think about like I don't know if you saw the picture I sent you, but like Torch is firing his flamethrower and Shockwave's got his shield up, so it's blocking the flames. I'm just like, that's great aesthetics for me. I just love it. One of the handful of pre-orders. I say I never pre-ordered, but it seems like I've done it maybe a dozen times now already.
You're getting into it,
and it's a line I don't collect. But this one was a must, because welcome, Agent Knight, to the Transformers line. It is Kit, also known as Agent Knight. There he is in all his glory. The back with his stats and some info there, and just classic Transformers. We all know my love of Knight Rider. And as a kid, I had a ton of Transformers, but Agent Knight was a must-have, and so he came my way. So naturally, I opened him up, or I opened him out of the box and was like, "Yay, got him!" And then, shout out to Joe Kiskis. He posted from Kid Force Collectibles that he got him in, and I had no idea Joe was going to get him. So of course, when I went, Joe was having a sale. So yeah, you got to get Agent Knight and transform him. So I've got him in car mode in the box, robot mode out of the box, and then you've got, look, this is the best part. Look at that.
Nice.
Wait, and then you got. Oh, I lost it. Where'd the button go? That red eye, that glowing red eye. Let's see if we can do it over here so I don't have to keep moving him.
So you're sure this is the right way? Very well.
That's so good.
Thank you, sir. I am the voice of Night Industry 2000's microprocessor, KITT for easy reference. KIT if you prefer. Hold on, this could be a bit bumpy.
This is what I need in my life.
So you're sure this is the right way? Very well.
He's so good. He's so good.
Very
And
good.
one of the best parts after you transform him from his car mode, this little part right here, that's basically the watch Michael would talk into to call Kit. And so it's just an accessory to put on him. So it's just a communicator. So you've got Agent Knight, car mode, staying boxed. I'll probably never transform him again because, man, it's been a long time since I've done a transformer, and I literally had to look at the instructions, like not making sure I wouldn't break him. It's been, and they're nowhere near as good as the 80. I mean, this is all plastic, right? Versus when the original Transformers were metal.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. How great is he? He's so good. I'm so happy with that purchase.
I was wondering if you were going to get that because I know you love Knight Rider, but you know I don't know if it in Transformer form still counted.
Well, when my buddy actually sent me a text about it and ended up calling me like right afterwards. And he's like, "Did you get the text I sent?" I said, "I'm literally ordering him now." I mean, it was within seconds. And then, honestly, forgot about him. A couple of weeks ago, there's a box at my door. I'm like, what the heck did I order? And I opened up and I went, oh! And then thank God for Joe, because I didn't know he talked. And I didn't even read the box. I was just
signing off.
Oh, he just said he's signing off because I let him stay too long without touching him. But Joe was like, make sure you go to the store and get these kind of batteries because he talks and does this. And like he showed me on his phone what like the light up and everything. I was like, that's glorious. That's so good. So now I have Agent Knight Transformer, and it's great.
That's very good.
So that's my haul for this time around.
Well, I have one final figure that I found while I was out and about on Black Friday doing some in-person shopping, and I went to a local store called Hobbies Galore. They're the store that put on the show where I found all this good stuff, and they've got a really nice selection of like vintage and retro stuff. It's the store that I sent you that picture of all the Dino Riders from. So I was just out for Black Friday, seeing what was available, and was looking through their cases on the wall, and something caught my eye, and I was like, I gotta call somebody to open this up because if the price on it is not that ridiculous, like I have to get this because it's the first time I've seen this figure in years. It's the figure that I've been looking for, sort of every time we've gone anywhere, whether it was like Toy Department or Tohio, because it came out a few years back. And I don't know if there just weren't a lot of them or if it was so popular that it got sort of picked up, but it's been really hard to find since. And it's one of my favorite wrestlers, in a figure that is based on one of the greatest moments in recent wrestling history. And the guy opened the case, and I checked it out, and luckily, the price was not crazy. So I finally got Edge.
I thought I knew you.
Oh yes, you
Move
thought you
over
knew
a little
him.
bit.
This Edge is based on his look from when he came back in the Royal Rumble. Back, what was that, 22?
I think so.
After like a decade of retirement because of neck injury. One of the most shocking of shocking returns, like one of the biggest surprises and greatest moments in wrestling history.
Very
Um,
emotional
and
return as well.
and it just, like, if you're watching a YouTube compilation of best returns and they put someone at the top of it who's not Edge, it's not a good video. Because I just watching that clip from his return, it's the Royal Rumble, so people are coming out and people are coming out, and I swear they wait a couple of beats longer after like the buzzer goes off to hit his music.
Uh-huh.
And one of the most recognizable entrance themes of his generation, of course. So when it hits, obviously the place goes nuts, because there is no reason you should be hearing Edge's return theme.
You think you know me?
Yeah.
On the stage, I see clearly.
And you can see it on his face as like he's coming down the aisle, that like, he was ready, like he knew he was there, but I think once he actually went out there,
Uh-huh.
like it hit him. And especially with the reaction he got, like I think it was really something. But
It's very akin to when the Hardys returned at WrestleMania that one year, and they kept it all a secret from everybody.
It's great. It's also such a great figure because it's got his coat with like arms that you can swap out. It's got just an absolutely crazy face, which I really like, except that the hair goes like straight back. So it's going to be really hard to just stand him there with that and have anybody like behind him, like on a riser per se. But this was probably my number one wrestling figure that I needed to find,
Uh-huh.
because there are plenty of Edge figures out there. I think they've even made some since his return. Like they've made some Judgment Day ones, like when he had cut his hair, and but this was such, like, this version of him was such a big deal,
Yeah.
because him coming back, like I think did also play a role in me getting interested in wrestling again. Um, and just with what it meant overall, like I think this is, like, why wouldn't I want this version of Edge if I'm getting an Edge figure?
That's a good figure. I may have to scoop that up too.
If you can find it, because this is the first one I've seen in years. Because I think this came out. This couldn't have also come out in 2020, but maybe it did, because that's the year that's on the bottom.
Well, yeah, because
So who knows?
well, you said 22, but that's the 20.
Yeah,
That
2020 Royal Rumble.
yeah, because that's when
It's right here
Drew
on the
wins
back.
the belt at WrestleMania, and there's no crowd.
Yeah, because that would have been like right before
Right? Yeah,
everything shut down.
That March COVID hits.
So yeah, they probably would have, and that would have been like January of that year. So they had plenty of
Yeah.
time to make a figure of it. Yeah. So it's 4-year-old figure. It's getting a little hard to find. This is the first time I've seen a store have it. And like I've looked up what it's going for, like online. Luckily they weren't charging that price.
That's good.
So I'm he's coming out of this box and going up there. And don't be surprised if and when you see him again in our next episode. Because I think that's everything we've got for this one. The only episode we have left to film this year is our top 10 figures of the year. Where will he land? I know I have my top 10 figured out.
Where will he land?
I'm fairly certain. It would be really funny if you threw him after that. But yeah, this was a real. It was great to like. It was great to go to a show and come away with a cool haul.
Yeah.
Like it was great to go to a store again and find a piece that I'd been looking for. Like the summer and the fall had been real slow for me for toy collecting. So like the last month has been really cool to get like new stuff like Nemesis, who's too far away for me to just casually reach out and grab, but also like pick up just some old goodies at a show again is a lot of fun.
And kind of the opposite for me. Like I'd been getting, watch the last episode, hauls and hauls and hauls.
Yeah.
So I went on Friday just to look around, and like I found all those wrestlers and price to sell. I mean, literally, they were all $20 under $20 a figure, and I just like I almost bought more. There was a guy who happened to be at the table, like I went around the first time, and I scooped her up, and actually I saw her at another table for 30, and he sold me her for 15, and then I wandered around some more, and I came back, and he had put more out, so I'm digging through. The guy next to me was scooping them up like candy, and some I was like, oh, I missed that one. Like there was a good Mr. Perfect, which I was like, oh, that guy got it first. But that's when he picked up Perfect. I saw China, and I was like, I didn't realize it made DX China. And it's funny because I had gone through my side. I'm like, you want to switch sides? He's like, yes. So we have sides, and he was I bought the X-Pac China and the Hammer. At that point, I got Roddy Piper at a different one, but that guy had a stack. I mean, he had like, and a lot of the older guys, Bruce Beefcake, Mr. Perfect. I can't remember who else who was there, but the only one I really wanted that he had was Mr. Perfect. But I'm like, I'll find him down the line. I'm not dying for Mr. Perfect figure, even though how great he was. But yeah, so it was more of the thrill of just what can I find. And it was fun stuff, and it was fun, inexpensive stuff. Not like a giant helicopter that I had to wait a year and a half for, but which is chef's kiss.
But was it worth the wait?
100%. And the drive to Medina to pick it up, and twice in the same day. The drive to Medina. And that that the name on the package was not my name. It was sent to postcard.
Excellent.
Okay. But anyway, other than that, it's been a good year for me for toys.
Yeah, we're gonna have an interesting time filming the end of the year episode.
Yeah.
I think just logistically, it's going to be more difficult for you. Because you've got a lot more to sort through.
And kind of like last year, it'll be figures, not toys overall. Because again, you're looking at the HasLab Dragonfly, the Hovercraft. Those would be probably 1 and 2, in some order or another. Maybe in that his tank, probably 3. So
would Agent Kit be eligible?
Well, yes, he's a figure.
He's a car,
but he transforms into a dude.
Okay.
And we've made, it's our show. We can make exceptions all we want, but so I'm gonna stay with figures rather than adding vehicles, because again, number one will always be, we know it, you know it, I know it. Say it with me. The flag.
You didn't get that this year.
Gratuitous flag shot. Doesn't matter. It will always be the number one toy I've ever owned. Period.
Well, sure, but that's not the show. The show is what we buy this year,
Right. No, it's I bought
not
toys.
overall. Yeah, but you've also got a lot of vehicles this year.
I did, and great ones. The Sky Striker, the normal size Dragonfly, the Persuader, the APC, the Havoc, the Slugger, the Platform, the Devilfish. I've gotten a great ton of vehicles, and that's a separate show in itself. It would be top 10 vehicles I bought this year.
Well, I think that's a good haul for one episode. Make sure you come back for the next one to see top figures of the years. Everybody will be doing them, so just add us to your list of shows you're watching. Cohan, anything else they should do before we sign off?
Enjoy your holidays, enjoy your family, and just have a good time and go buy toys. You're never too old for toys.
I was looking more for like subscribe to the channel, like the episode, YouTube things.
Like, subscribe, and comment below. Also, have a great holiday season.
Anyway, for I Bought Toys Today, I've been John.
And I'm Cohan.
And who knows what we'll do tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks for watching.